Your advice was good, but Jan's was bigger.
Welcome, big time Dynasty League owners. Happy week 8 has just now finished. So this is your week 8 weekly recap. I hope everyone had a great Halloween weekend. I know there was trick-or-treaters and college football, and we had our Braves had a chance to clinch a World Series for the first time since 1995, and it was at home, and we couldn't get it done. Wet the bed, much like Killer Instinct did this week, but we'll get into all of that in just a minute. So I hope everyone had a great week. We have a big shift in the power rankings for some people, and it remained pretty close to the same at the very top. So let's get right into our power rankings for week 8 weekly recap. Snip snap at 8-0, continuing the winning streak. Impressive at number 1, followed by Lance's Scranton Stranglers, holding on to that 2 spot at 5-3. And then in the 3rd spot, Bums from the Dock, also at 5-3, gets the loss but holds on to the number 3 spot in the power rankings. Number 4 is Uncle Creepy's Frank's team at 6-2, picks up another win over Bums from the Dock but holds on to the 4 spot. Knights of the Night at number 5 at 5-3, Nathan Pierce's team. And then Jake's Big Boobs does move up a spot, but loses. So, okay, little respect for Jake's team at the number 6 spot at 4-4. And then my team, Killer Instinct, drops all the way down to number 7 at 3-5, followed by Matt Washan's Prison Mike, also at 3-5. JT still at 0-8 with no win, but is number 9 in the power rankings. The disrespect, because Nate Hides Jan's Cans picks up his first win, but still number 10 in the power rankings. And without further ado, let's dive right into the weekly rundown.
Hey, you know what? Do you have a rundown that I could take a look at just so I know what type of rundown you're looking for?
Just keep it simple.
Keeping it simple, that's what I'm doing. But I am working hard on this one. Real hard.
You're working hard on this?
No, not too hard. Not harder than I should.
Right. I mean, why work harder than you should?
No,
We have our Thursday night matchup in the Big Time Dynasty League, and that was Killer Instinct going on the road, number 6 to number 10, Jan's Cans, who had not won a game all season long. And what do you know? An upset of all upsets. Jan's Cans slapped around Killer Instinct for a 105 to 90 point win. I mean, defense was the theme for this week. Nate Hyde's team gets his first win. Patrick Mahomes only picks up 13 points and continues to struggle. But Aaron Jones and Devontae Booker, his 2 running backs, going for 24 and 18.5 points respectively. AJ Green also puts up 10. And welcome back Devontae Parker. He also puts up 16.5 points. And his kicker puts up 12 points. And that is actually enough to get it done as my team, Killer Instinct, completely disappoints. Tom Brady carrying the team with 30 points. James Conner with 14. And ladies and gentlemen, those are the only 2 guys on this entire team this week to score more than 10 points. Disappointing performances. DJ Moore, Terry McLaurin, Jalen Waddle, all under 10 points. Russell Gage with nothing. Kenny Gainwell with 2.7. That is not getting it done any time of the year. What a pathetic showing. Moving on to the 1 p.m. game. Nathan Pierce's Knights of the Night, number 4 in the power rankings at 4-3, going on the road to number 9, JT. And Knights of the Night picks up a win, a 20-point win, 127 to 107. Kyler Murray, oh no, gets injured, only 9 points. something to keep an eye out. Cordero Patterson continues to roll at 18 points. Robert Woods, Mr. Bobby Trees at 20.7. Keenan Allen also with 20.7. Tyler Lockett with 26 points. And Darnell Mooney with 12. His kicker even picks up 10 points, Tyler Bass. JT only 107 points this week. Jalen Hurts cannot get it done in garbage time because they destroy the Lions. He only puts up 11 points. Elijah Mitchell with a big game at 19.7. And Michael Carter, Mr. Carter, 32 points. Big time game. Other than that, a lot of very low scores. 6 points from Cortland Sutton, Chenault with 4, Kyle Pitts with 3, Jarvis Landry with 9, and Gio Bernard with 10. That is not getting it done. JT moves to 0-8. Knights of the Night, impressive, moves to 5-3, and we move on to the 4 p.m. game. Scranton Stranglers, the number 2 team at 4-3, going on the road to number 8 Prison Mike, and woo! That is the biggest margin of victory of the week. Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes puts up 17 on Monday night. Not enough to get the win, but enough to help Lance's team over Matt. DeAndre Swift with a disappointing 7 points, but Darrell Henderson picks up 22. T. Higgins puts up 14. A.J. Brown putting the team on his back this week with 33.5 points. And Chris Godwin, oh my goodness, with 29 points. And Najee Harris with 21. That is plenty to get it done over Matt's team, who moves to 3-5. Josh Allen with a good game at 28 points. Jonathan Taylor continues to roll with 21 points. Alvin Kamara puts up only 16, but not bad. Mike Evans puts up 14. Jamar Chase puts up 13. And the rest under 10 points. That is not good enough to beat Lance, unfortunately. And we are on to the Sunday night matchup. We have the number 3 team, Bums from the Dock, at 5-2. Going on the road to the number 5, Uncle Creepies, also at 5-2. Big matchup to potentially decide things this early in the season. And Frank's team, Team Uncle Creepies, gets a 157-142 win over Kyler's Bums from the Dock. Congrats, Frank. You moved to 6-2. Kyler moves to 5-3. Frank's team gets big performances from Ryan Tannehill with 23 points, Deebo Samuel with 25, CeeDee Lamb with 17, and Brandon Cooks with 22 points. Not to mention he gets 10 from Mike Gesicki, 19 from Adam Thielen, and Randall Cobb with the start in the flex with 16.5 points. He just gets big-time performances from a lot of people. Actually, Nick Chubb and Dalvin Cook, his 2 starting running backs, do not break 10 points, but still gets a decisive 15-point win. Kyler's team, Kirk Cousins with only 12 points, Chase Edmonds with 15, Zeke with only 11. Cooper Kupp continues to dominate with 25.5 points. Tyreek Hill with a big game and 27.4 points on Monday night. Dallas Goedert with 13. Deontay Johnson with 16. Some good performances, but also some disappointing ones, and that is why he gets the loss. And we're on to Monday Night Football, number 7, Big Boobs, trying to put some respect on his name at 4-3, going to the number 1 undefeated Snip Snap 7-0, and oh no, 166-124, and a big win for Jordan. He moves to 8-0, while Jake's Big Boobs moves to 4-4. Jordan gets big performances from several guys. Carson Wentz in a weird game, a very weird game with only 17 points. Joe Mixon, though, with 26, and Michael Pittman trying to get his name on the board in the top performers this week with 30.6 points. DK Metcalf with 22, TJ Hawkinson with almost 19, Chuba Hubbard with 13, and Amari Cooper with a big game and 25 points. On to Jake's team, Matt Stafford, another good game with 27. Damian Harris with 14, and Austin Eckler just every single week, steady Eddie, 24.4 points. Stephon Diggs with 15. He gets nothing from Manny Sanders, 0. After that, Darrell Williams gets 17 on Monday night, and Tyler Conklin does put up 10. But there were some big duds, and that is why Jake could not get it done. And that is your weekly rundown. Okay, well, we have now finished and concluded 8 weeks in fantasy football. Can you believe it? We are over halfway through the fantasy season already. Kind of makes me sad. But after 8 weeks, we already discussed the power rankings in the standings. If the playoffs were to start today, Jordan Snip Snap would be the number 1 spot. Frank's team would be the number 2 spot, Team Uncle Creepy's. Scranton Strangers would take the 3 spot, Lance's team, and number 4 would be Bums from the Dock, getting the slight edge over Knights of the Night, Nathan Pierce's team. So that is the 4-5. But right behind them is Jake's Big Boobs with 4-4 record, and then myself and Prison Mike at the 7 and 8 spot at 3 and 5, followed by Jan's Cans picking up the first win at 1 and 7, and JT, what is you doing, baby? 0 and 8. 0 and 8. So now we move into the time of the weekly recap where we discuss who ruined the program. Take it away, Matt.
There's Paul Johnson right there. Ruined our program, and that's all right. He's still here.
All right. Couple of good candidates this week for ruining the program. No super close games, but all of them were within fairly decent margins of victory, minus a couple. So no huge blowouts, but also no really, really close games. My game with Jan's Cans, my matchup was a 15-point swing, and no pun intended. Kyler and Frank's matchup was also about a 15-point swing, and when you look at the two, there were a couple of good candidates. Justin Jefferson was projected to score almost 19 points, but he only puts up 4. Very much could have decided the game for Kyler over Frank in a very big matchup. But I'm going to choose to give it to someone who was supposed to have at least 13 points. Russell Gage. What is you doing, baby? Calvin Ridley goes out before the game and decides he doesn't want to play football right now, meaning Russell Gage is a starting wide receiver on a team that desperately needs offensive help. He plays the whole game and does not get injured. He does not only record a reception, he does not even have a single target thrown his way. Matt Ryan literally said, I will not throw you the ball today. Picked up 0 points. And I feel like Russell Gage, you, sir, ruined the program this week. You are a bum.
Hey, I'm just here so I don't get fined. So y'all can sit here and ask me all the questions y'all want to. I'm going to answer with the same answer, so y'all can shoot if y'all please. I'm here. I'm just here so I won't get fined. Time.
All right, well, we have our third installment of our guest interview for our weekly recaps, and this is a pretty big one as Jan's Cans gets its first win of the season, a pretty big one over myself, Killer Instinct, in a pathetic showing, a 105-90 win from Nate Hyde's team. Jan's Cans, welcome to the weekly recap. Nate, how are you feeling this morning?
Thank you. I am feeling amazing.
I'm sure you are. How does it feel after 7 weeks of straight losses? How does it feel to get your first win of the season?
I really don't see it as 7 straight losses. I really see it as just one dominating win right now. I'm more of a focus on the present kind of guy.
Yeah. No, I understand. I mean, it's a little hard to do this interview right now, knowing that it was my team that gave it up. But yeah, I mean, big kudos to you. You got the win. Are you looking for some momentum? You are 1-7 right now. Your playoff hopes are slim. I think it's safe to say. Can you walk me through your strategy for the rest of the year? What are you thinking about your team? Do you like your team moving forward? Do you think you'll make a run this year? How are we feeling about Jan's Cans?
I'm feeling deflated, to say the least, about this team this year. Okay. Plans are this year to pray very hardly that there is a good running back coming out of the draft next year. And pray that JT, that is, can win more games than me this year. And I can get the first pick. That's my prayers, Maybe get a couple more first-round picks, but we'll see. Okay. Are you saying that anyone in particular, since this is for the league to hear, is anyone in particular on the trade block for open for offers? I mean, I think the obvious one is, Nicole Hardman, of course. Former UGA receiver. I think Aaron Jones is definitely the only name that people would want on my team. Maybe Mahomes, but currently I don't know if that's even a thing. So Aaron Jones is on the block. It's willing to give me a player / picks. So I'll put that out there.
I hear you. All right, well, the league hears that. Aaron Jones is on the block. I was going after him for quite a while. I'm not sure I'm in buy mode anymore at this point, so we'll see. But so, look, you mentioned JT. You would want him to have more wins than you, being that you want that first-round pick. It's interesting. You and JT play each other this week. Week 9 matchup, potentially matchup of the year. JT and James Cairns are playing this coming up week. What is the strategy here? Are you going to try to win, or are you going to try to intentionally set a bad lineup so that he gets his first win of the season?
I don't think it's right to set a bad lineup on purpose. Not yet, at least. We'll see about later. But right now, I mean, looking at projections and stuff, I never feel good about my team. And his team is clearly better, so I could see him definitely beating me. But I would also not like to give up, a loss to him to give him his first win. That'd be pretty embarrassing too. So, I mean, because at this point, I'm just one of the guys now, just one of the winners.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a tough call. You got a tough decision ahead of you. I'm looking at your roster. There's not a lot of good on here. Who would you say, though, is someone that this season that has been a pleasant surprise, someone that you didn't think you would probably have on your team next year or count on at least next year, but you're pleasantly surprised and you're looking to hold on to your roster maybe moving forward?
I don't know about moving forward, like as in next year, and I may get some hate for this because it is a Georgia guy, but it's not Hardman. It'd be A.J. Green, I think. I mean,
okay, all right.
He's a number 31 receiver, which isn't amazing, but for a guy who I thought would be nothing this year, like every other year for the last 5 years or whatever, for him to actually be a decent starter has been surprising. And for my team, anybody can be starters, but he has been a pleasant surprise, to say the least.
Anything is possible on James Cairns, right?
Anything is possible.
All right, well, look, last part of the interview, I like to ask the owner if they have any specific messages to any specific league owners or the entire league. Do you have anything you want to say to the Big Time Dynasty League or any one specific owner?
I mean, I got plenty of things to say. I think mainly first is, JB, what is you doing? What is you doing?
Oh, dude, I was coming.
You let these cans come in and smack you around. I know. It's
God.
But other than that, mainly just Jake, dude. We all believed in you, and you let us down. What are you doing? Come on, Jake. Come on. We thought we had big hopes for you this year, and you just wet the bed. So, a little disappointed in him.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take this opportunity to, Jake, tell you how disappointed I am. So, the Bears who we thought they were, and you let them off the hook. Jordan lost Derrick Henry this week. You had an opportunity, and you didn't get it done. So, Nate, thank you very much for the time. Thank you much for the interview. Congrats. Very unfortunately, congratulations on your first win. It was against myself. And we'll look forward to seeing what happens the rest of the year for James Cairns. And moving into the offseason, you got 3 first-round picks and a bunch of other picks after that. So thank you for the time, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Hey, on to Cincinnati.
Grandpa, where were you the day the Scranton Strangler was caught?
Well, I was there, kiddo. I was there. And I'll tell you what. You go sell these and buy yourself a nice spaceship.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way up. All the way up. I'm all the way up. I'm all the way up. Nothing can stop me.
All right, that brings us to the top scoring team, the top performers, both in team and individuals, and we had a really close one this week. Jordan, snip snap at 166.24. just barely by 0.24 points gets beaten out by Lance's Scranton Stranglers with 166.48, a margin of 0.24 points. Congratulations, Scranton Stranglers. You are the top scoring team of the week. Congratulations. Very far from the 195 you said you'd get it over Prison Mike, Matt's team, but you do get the decisive win, and that brings the side pot jackpot all the way to $160. Who is going to get it this week? We will find out. But let's move into the last part of our show, our top individual performers. And what in the world do you know? The top scoring quarterback of week 8 in our fantasy league and fantasy leagues across the country, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy G, on the waiver wire with 30.3 points, followed by Tom Brady with 30.2. My quarterback and Matt's quarterback, Josh Allen, at 28.5 points. On to running back, Michael Carter. JT's running back leads all running backs in fantasy football in week 8 with 32.2 points. Welcome to the top performers club, Michael Carter. Joe Mixon with 26.1. That's Jordan's running back. And Jake's Big Boobs is running back. Austin Eckler, again, he's a regular attendee, a member now in the club with 24.4 points. On to the wide receiver position, A.J. Brown. Again, he is heating up. Lance's wide receiver in the top spot with 33.5 points, followed by Jordan's receiver, Michael Pittman, with a big game at 30.6 points. And then another Lance receiver, and this is going to pain me every time I see him this year, Chris Godwin, third scoring wide receiver at 29 points. On to tight ends, Hawkinson, the top scoring tight end, Jordan's tight end at 18.9 points. Dan Arnold with 14.8 and Pat Fryermuth with 14.4. The second and third scoring tight ends on the waiver wire. Also, on the kickers, speaking of waiver wire, all 3 kickers in the top 3 spots on the waiver wire. Zane Gonzalez, Jake Elliott, and Nick Folk, 17, 16, and 15 points respectively, are the top scoring kickers. Everyone have a great week 9. Look at your team, see where you're at. We got some traders, some movers, some buyers, some sellers. I'm going to consider putting a bunch of guys on the trade block. Hit me up if you need some deals. But anyway, best of luck to you guys, and have a great week. And go Braves!
Now where'd you get that platinum chain with them diamonds in it? Where'd you get that matching Benz with them windows tinted? Who them girls you be with when you be riding through? Man, I ain't got nothing to prove. I paid my dues, breaking the rules and shake fools while I'm taking the cruise. Tell me who's your...
What do you think having a 37-year-old...
We're on to Cincinnati. It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. Right now we're preparing for Cincinnati.